Why do you think some of us bring such baggage from one relationship to the other? It's like it's luggage, right? We're just bringing this from relationship number one to two to five to 10. Why do you think we continue to do that?
Why do we continue to do that? You know, and this question has crossed my mind. Now, the longest relationship I've been in is with my husband. So when I think about that question, because I haven't really been in many long-term relationships, but if I have to say, it's because we're not healed, we're manifesting the wrong things. That's an interesting question. And I think I've thought about it and I've never, I guess, answered it in my own head. Why do we bring so much baggage into a new relationship? Why do we? Because every relationship that we get into is a learning experience. And I do believe many times ourselves, we refuse to learn and we're not learning from our mistakes. We don't want to go to therapy. We think we know it all half the time. And we're just carrying that old suitcase with us to the new relationship, thinking like, I'll just patch up this little piece right here, patch up this little piece right here, instead of not realizing that we just really need to just let the suitcase go and start anew. But we don't do that. We just bring the old suitcase and continue just to patch it up, 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 not realizing, and I do also believe people are scared to be alone. Love is a great thing, but love can be deadly. Companionship is important, but unhealthy companionship is not good.
I agree with you, and I think the older we get, there's a potential to have more baggage because we've dated more, we've been
Mm-hmm.
around more people, and the same question I asked you. I asked myself a couple of years ago, and I said, you know what? After every relationship, I need to analyze myself and what went wrong because the days of saying, you know what, the guy was worthless or the girl was crazy, that doesn't fly
No,
anymore.
it doesn't. The days of women saying, "Oh, men are a piece of shit. They all the same. They this, they that." It's just. I do believe humans are prone to error. There's no perfect human being. It's finding that good compatibility. Relationships are, in my head, are like a puzzle. It's like a puzzle piece. You have a box of puzzles. Let's just say it's a small little puzzle, 25 pieces. Some way, somehow, those 25 pieces are going to fit, but you're going to have two pieces. No matter what angle you take it, it's never going to fit. The compatibility is just not there. And everything, there's a negative connotation put on everything in life. You know, breakups, divorces. Sometimes I feel if you're not compatible with the person that you're with, it's not a bad thing. Realizing that the puzzle just doesn't fit anymore is a mature decision to make. But life will make you feel, society be like, oh my God, what happened? Nothing happened. It just didn't work out, you know? And being strong enough to know that it's time for me to move on, that's a great thing. But then sometimes you know how it is, breakups are always so sour, always so sour. Divorces, whatever you want to call them, it's always a rough patch. Half the time you can't even ever be friends with that person, or you can't even give eye contact. This is somebody at one point in time you were intimate with. Like, what happened? What happened that we
Yeah.
can't even look at each other or have a civil conversation without wanting to choke each other?
Yeah. And if you ask those people, you know, to say, okay, what can someone do to you that you won't ever want to talk to them again? There's not a lot of reasons, right? If you really like, out of all the reasons you can stop being someone's friend or stop dating someone or stop being around someone, there's a lot of reasons for that, right?
Yes.
But out of all those reasons you would give, saying that, yeah, you know what, sure and I we used to date, but it didn't work out for this reason or for
Hmm.
that reason, or you stopped talking to me for this reason, for that reason. We can come up with thousands of reasons.
Yeah.
But how many out of those reasons can we honestly say that, you know what, I want absolutely nothing to do with this person. I don't even want to see them in the same planet. Very few.
Very few.
Very few.
Very few. And I'll say there are people I do believe that, and I guess I'll speak in my situation with our, so both hubby and I, we have we both cheated. So I also victim and perpetrator of a situation. So in my defense for the partner he cheated on me with, I've forgiven that person, but I do believe there are some people you forgive and you keep them arm distance. Now, of course, I know we're talking about dating situation. I didn't date that person. And now that person is a stigma in our life because with the infidelity came a child. So, what would make you not want to speak to somebody anymore? I don't think not speaking to someone is necessarily unhealthy, but it's just more when all parties realize their actions. Because one thing that my therapist told me when we went to counseling is all three of you play a role in the infidelity that took place. When the therapist told me that, I was in shock because I'm like, really? You telling me I played a role in this man's infidelity? But it took me years to realize he's right. I did play a role because at some point in time, there was a disconnect in my relationship. And the first question you asked me when I gave you the answer, I wasn't paying attention to my partner. Someone else was paying attention to my partner. I didn't pay attention to that disconnect because I guess at that moment in time, I was so self absorbed with whatever was going on in my life. Someone else was giving him that attention. But as you said, when you're dating someone or whatever the situation may be, many times for you not wanting to ever talk to that person again, it makes me wonder, are you also taking accountability for your actions, or are you trying to put the blame all on the other person? When you say, I can never speak to that person again, or I can never say anything to them at all, they make me sick, or being in the room with them is not something. I'm not saying y'all need to be going to Applebee's laughing and joking, but just simple, hello, or keeping it amicable when you break up with somebody. It's hard for some people to do. It's extremely hard in a dating world. I mean, in my situation, hubby and I feel like that situation have strengthened our relationship extremely because there's two things that would have happened. I probably would have ended up in jail. We would have just separated and, like you're just saying, never spoke to each other again. But we were able to look beyond that. And that's a prime example of, even after that situation, I'm still able to speak to him. Maybe it because I cheated as well, so I am able to see the other side. Because there are some people like, oh, if somebody cheat on me, I could never. And that's fine because really there's no right or wrong answer to it. You know what you can handle, you know what your capacity is. So if someone cheats on you and you can't stay in the relationship, that is okay. I never promote, like, well, no, you need to try to stay. My belief is not going to be your belief. But my example of hubby cheated on me, I cheated on him, and we're still together. How is that? How is it that we're not like literally killing each other and we're still figuring out a way to live? Are we wired differently? No, we're not wired differently. I think it's just mindset control.